Hey, this is Phoenix. This is another VOD review for OwnagePwnage on Baptiste and Zenyatta. They're a Platinum 2 player, and on Reddit they said, I generally want to understand where my biggest flaw is. It's easy to say positioning, but what about my positioning is not correct, etc. I really want to better understand Baptiste, but I find a lot of times that I play him, I have to switch because we're getting rolled. I find this with many heroes overall. I'm also a console player, if that's relevant. For context, I'm a GM support player. I mostly play Ana, Mercy, Kiriko. I can flex into most of the supports. Baptiste is probably one of my worst ones. I did put that in my Reddit post when I was advertising this, but I'm still down to look at it. I managed to skim through it already, and I got a lot of notes that I'll send over to you whenever I send you the link to this video, as well as all these notes. But we'll just get straight into it. I will say this. In general, positioning wise, I think you're hanging, like, usually for one, outside of cover for way too long. Two, I think you're underutilizing high ground a lot. So those are the two things I really want to focus on positioning wise, and I'll point them out for you as we go. Yep, so you're just dishing out a bit of damage, you know, poking at them a little bit. No one really needs the healing around you yet. That was a little questionable to me, using your shift just for Pokemon, just for the life weaver there. I think you could have just shot them with your right click, or not your right click, sorry, you're on console, with your heal right there, and that would have been just as good. So maybe a little bit of using abilities a little inappropriately. You didn't need to. So I think where I would be if I could, right? Baptiste has the mobility for this, so he can do this. I think I would actually jump up here and hold this site right here, and kind of time it with when my team is engaging like this, right? Let's go back a second. So obviously, if you go up like this right now, you're just gonna get blown up by Sigma and Torb. Like, they're just gonna look at you and start spamming you out. So you're gonna get forced into this room, right? Which leaves you into a little bit of danger, especially if someone's playing here. But if you time it properly, like, watch your teammates as they're engaging, especially the Doomfist. Doomfist is a character, you know, that really relies on good engagement timing. The same goes for, like, Winston, Ball, people like that. We're usually just, like, dive heroes. Really, engagement timing is what's super, super important. And so for you, you have to watch, right? So we're going to watch them go up. And as I notice that they're going up those stairs, what I would do is jump up, kind of like what you were trying to do there, except you got, you know, blocked by, I think, the, what is it, the pedal there. And then Doomfist is jumping in as well. See that? Jump up here to this high ground, shoot at them from up here, you know, while this is going on. Dish out as much damage as possible, right? So that's kind of like what I would think I would be. You're on the low ground here. You got blocked by that pedal. It happens. I really like that you're looking for damage as much as you can. So that's a great kill. Nice. Going, yeah, pressuring that Mercy when you see her. Fantastic. And then you join them. Now, so, like, this is where I'm like, I got a little scared for you, because you're kind of like doing this motion, right? You're just sitting right here, taking shots, letting them shoot back at you, right? So you're taking a little bit of unnecessary damage right there. What you could be doing is timing your shots right, because it's not like, you know, you're just laying down a machine gun, right? It's especially for Baptiste, it's a, you know, burst fire kind of type character. So first, like, we could be a little bit tighter to here, right? So if you need to block vision, it just takes like one tap and you're there, right? So you like shoot, go back, shoot, go back, shoot, go back. If you really want to, like, spam out this corner without putting yourself in, like, unnecessary danger, or, like, just take, like, random damage like that, like, unnecessarily. So that's just, like, I'm being very nitpicky with that one. So I wanted to point that out to you. You're using your immortality here. I did notice that on my skim through as well. This was, like, pretty, like, there's no reason for it, right? So I didn't want to throw that out. And then right there, that's actually, this is a great example of what I mean, like, when you, like, stand out in the open, right? As in, like, you're kind of, like, peeking this angle, like, a little too long. You're overstaying your welcome, and Sigma sees that, shoots you twice, and you nearly die from this because you go back for it after you took the hit. So just be a little bit careful with that. Luckily, you know, you're good. You backed out.
Nice to be the patient for a change.
right here, instead of being here, right, where the fight's gonna be happening, I think I'd be more here, right, or even up here. Like maybe like, you know, the fight's developing. They're kind of pushing you guys more around this corner, so maybe you could be like right here, right, shooting your teammates right here, or a really aggressive angle. I think that would be actually this is probably where I would personally be. It's like right here, right. So shooting at my teammates, healing them, but then like if I want to deal damage, all I gotta do is just step forward. If they look at me, if I feel a little too pressured, I'll back off, but I still have access to my own teammates, right? So this is a pretty good spot. I really like this spot, especially for a map like Gibraltar right here. I didn't know if you knew this, but I'll kind of go over it real quick. This right here, blue box, is really important to hold, and then so is this one. These two are generally where defenders want to play. I'm not surprised that, you know, the defending team didn't hold these two spots, to be honest. That's not something you really see up until, like, you know, once you get to like Diamond and Masters. But generally, like, it's fairly well understood that these two spots right here are you kind of want to hold on to for as long as possible. And then once you do, like, you know, take control of them, as an attacking team, you really should take advantage of it. Like, this is a great angle. And of course, like, you know, someone on the defending team could be, you know, on these high grounds right here. But this high ground is pretty dangerous. There's no cover whatsoever, right? So if they're up here, you guys can pressure them out so quickly, right? So versus here, you know, just this feels much safer to me, especially from the, so just wanted to point that out real quick. Yeah, because we're just chilling down here. This feels like, I mean, like, don't get me wrong, this isn't like bad positioning, right? Because you're not like over here where you shouldn't be. You're still like generally in like a pretty safe spot, but underutilizing high ground, right? I want to see more on it. Oh, and that's another thing I wanted to really quickly point out, because you need to get, if you're gonna play Baptiste, you need to get comfortable with this tempo. Other people explain it much better than I probably will, so this is worth looking up a video on specifically just for this. But it's about tempo, right, of your shoot and heal. Like, this is something a lot of low ranks will struggle with, right? People either just hold right click, you know, or they'll just hold DPS, and both are inefficient, right? Doing just one. So what you want to do is you want to heal, shoot, heal, shoot, right? That's the most efficient way, because you don't lose out, by the way, like on the heal rate. If you like shoot in between, you don't lose out on the heal rate, right? Another tempo that's pretty common is just shoot, and then heal. So heal, shoot, heal. That's another very common tempo. I believe, don't hold me on it, and this is why I say like Baptiste isn't my best hero. And you know, like the other you know, Baptiste players could probably like explain a little bit better. I believe you do the heal, shoot, heal combo if you want to push damage, but then like if you want to heal more, you want to just do like this, right? So get really comfortable with those two tempos. It's the same concept essentially as like I had talked about in like a previous video a little while ago. Is the same reason why you want to like weave in kunais in between your ofudos. It's just because that's more efficient, right? Otherwise, there's a moment in time where you're not doing anything in between each ofuda. It's the same concept with Baptiste. You want to fill that like dead space with an action, like doing something. And in most cases for Baptiste and, you know, Kiriko, you're gonna be throwing damage out. So I just wanted to point that out real quick as well. That was a concept that I didn't really see too much happening for you when you were playing through in this game, at least. So I'm so sorry if my voice sounds a little scratchy. It's because I've been in the process of losing my voice slowly over this course of the week, and I did not expect so many people to submit VOD requests. So I've been talking a lot this week, and I have been slowly losing my voice. So I'm very sorry if I feel if it sounds a little scratchy. So we'll get right into it. Nice. Your doofus is kind of a Chad. Goes in, kills 2, 3, I think. You know, this is maybe being nitpicky. You're really focused on the Sigma. Maybe you could have thrown your immortality over here to save him. That's a little nitpicky. You know, I don't know if you could have. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you could have. You actually 100% could have. You could have done it. And you do it a little too late, because I think you're so focused on the Sigma here. You're shooting at him, Like, you could have bounced it off the wall or something and done it. So That's what I would say. Alright, so in this position right now, we want to be taking high ground. So I'll talk a little bit more about this map as well. This is a very, very defender-heavy point right here. And the reason why is because the attacking side has high ground, technically, right? This side and this side. But those two can get pressured out so hard because people can take spaceship. People can be hiding here. You know, generally, like, you know, people could be just on this high ground as well over here. And then as the fight develops, as the payload develops more and more over here, right? You can have people up here. You can still have people on spaceship constantly. You know, there's just so much pressure from high ground that the defender side could take. In your game, particularly, you guys managed to wipe them as you're getting this checkpoint, which forced them to all respawn back here, right? Which unfortunately means that they can't, they don't have the time to set up. So you guys should be capitalizing on this and setting up, especially, I think if I were you, I think I'm going to see Doomfist like push up here maybe, or hopefully, like ideally your tank should be pushing up. And then I would be like probably like right here. This feels like a pretty safe spot. I could play maybe around this health pack right here. Maybe if I really wanted to be really aggressive with my tank, especially if like we're running Winston, for example, and he's like blocking up here. He takes this choke point right here, right? Then I'd probably be here as well. But you want to be taking those really aggressive high, what do you call it? High grounds, yeah. But we're just kind of like sitting around waiting, right? Lifeweaver, you know, he takes high ground, so does Tracer. I just wish you were on it as well. But it feels kind of lost. Our gameplay feels like slightly lost, right? Very singular. I think what happened here was you saw people taking damage, you saw Tracer get critical, and so yeah, like you flicked right onto Tracer as soon as she got critical, right? And so it feels very singular, right? Right now, our movement and like camera movement and our actions feel a little bit like singular. I would challenge you to start multitasking a little bit more. Like think about the bigger picture, think about the macro, think about where you as a Baptiste would like benefit from positioning the most. And like I said, that's generally always going to be the high ground. So let's make sure we're taking those really aggressively. What's going on here? Nice. Sorry, I saw that. Nice. Nice. Good kill. Good kill. Really, really aggressive position. That's kind of scary, right? You're kind of like in Sigma's face right now. Which unfortunately, I mean, your Doomfist died. I don't know if there was anything you really could have done there. Doomfist, I think, ended up dying up here. But I mean, like, you know, if you're on the high ground, you know, maybe you could have been over here or something and like helping out your Doomfist. I don't know. I just feel like you're just really underutilizing it on this map, especially. I believe you window here. This was not a good ult. So the reasoning being is this: you're down. Let me see. You're down your Sigma and your Junkrat. Coalescence was out and like beating the shit out of your team. Sure, Tracer's up, but to be honest, the enemy team was pretty like onto her. Like she was getting pressured out pretty heavily this game. You're about to die, so you throw a window up. Lifeweaver is a Lifeweaver. I'm gonna just be honest. Lifeweaver is not that great of a hero, right? So this is a lost fight. You guys like practically, you guys have lost this fight essentially. But we commit an ult now, a window into this, and so it kind of ends up feeling a little bit like a waste to me personally. Yeah, I mean, Lifeweaver dies, you end up dying for it, and then your window got like 0 value, right? So that's something I did want to point out to you. So maybe start like being a little bit more hyper aware about, you know, your teammates, where they're positioned, right? You know, and as well as, you know, like knowing when they die, you know, knowing when like the ebb and flow of the fight, like when the enemy team has momentum like that, you know, like really unstoppable momentum, and you know you're down too. There's no way you guys can like bring this fight around unless like Tracer gets a really good pull spot mount, which she doesn't. So you know, so felt a little bit, felt like a little bit like a waste, but it's all right. Something to keep in mind. Nice, good hits. See, this is what I mean. Like well, right now you're getting like pressured out like fucking crazy. But you're on the high ground, which by the way, great, awesome, great spot. But like heal, shoot, and then if they look at you pressure out, you just take like just step in cover. You did a great job, right? By the way, right here, just stepping right in cover as soon as the Bastion was looking at you. A little bit early on the immortality there. I think you did it to save the for the Sigma ult, but I think it was a little too early. I think that's what I would consider it, right? They could just shoot at it, especially if Sigma hasn't even like pulled them up yet, right? So maybe if you hear Sigma ulting like that, reserve your immortality, one, to make sure that someone's been pulled up. If no one gets like caught in the flux, then there's no reason to use it, you know, unless there's another thing happening going on there. And then two, that way you know who gets pulled up, and so it's not like you've just wasted it by like throwing it on top of your Doomfist when you should have really thrown it on top of your Lifeweaver, things like that. So be a little bit more thoughtful about your immortality right now. That's how I would like price something up. I'll throw this out to you now real quick. It's like right here. So Bastion's pressuring you out. I get that. So you're forced back a little bit. I think when Tree of Life comes up, I would have like taken that as an opportunity to walk more this way, personally. Just because Tree of Life like is keeping up your team for the most part, as well as your Lifeweaver. Your Lifeweaver I don't think should really be right there anyways. Doesn't matter. You know, it is what it is. You can't control that. But I would have taken the opportunity to walk over here and taken a much more aggressive angle, like right here or something. Actually, probably like more like, yeah, this feels nice. This feels pretty good. Like right here, and then shooting down at Sigma. You know, this also makes it a little bit easier for you to hit your healing shots right now because you're not really hitting your teammates all too often just because of the distance, right? So that would be my only complaint as well about that. It's just I wish you were a little bit further up. Okay, we jump down because I think it's because your Lifeweaver's dead and you feel the need to rush forward. You want to go after now Sigma and stuff. You could be on the high ground here. This is like a perfect time for you to be up here, actually. Feels bad. I'm gonna check if you I'm gonna check if you reloaded like unnecessarily. You did, yeah. You could have probably healed Doomfist right there. I don't know if it would have saved him, but you could have healed him. Alright, fight's lost. You either want to soft disengage, like, right? You don't want to stagger yourself. Feels bad. They committed feels bad. Alright. I need to, no matter, right? Getting a little more comfortable with how his heal arcs. I mean, I'm like you know, you could hit this shot. You could have hit that shot. I think. I don't know if it would have saved him actually, just because Bastion's grenade actually does like a surprising amount of damage, but I mean, you didn't even hit him, so that's just something. Get a little more comfortable with it. I'm trying to find out why you try to shoot there. I think it's because of the Tracer, right? Tracer was like down there, but then she blinked forward. Huh. I'm wondering if there's like a ping thing almost. I don't know. It feels bad. Dude just walks in. My apologies, I forgot to mute my phone. You're getting pressured out, but you know, you're generally using cover really well. And look how, like, I do want to point out to you, even though you guys lost this fight, look how safe you are. I mean, you're on the high ground. No one can reach you from down there. Like, literally, no one on their team can reach to you unless Sigma, like, fucking commits, like, an ult. You know, Moira, you know, jumps on top of these boxes and gets you. But, like, generally, you're in a pretty safe spot. And so that's why, like, this fight in particular, you didn't feel that much pressure for the most part, right? It was only when Bastion started looking at you and, like, Torb was probably looking at you that you had to, like, back off into cover. This is why high ground is so good, especially this one that you're in right now. So much nice cover, especially if they're not going to challenge you up there. Especially if they're going to stay low ground like that. You should always be up here. Take advantage of that. Feels bad. A little questionable on the immortality there. I'm not really sure why you used it. You didn't really need to save yourself. You weren't taking that much damage. It's only up until like now. And you didn't even get your, what is it, your other heal off, the other ability. I don't even know what it's called. I would call it the shift, but you're obviously not on PC, so yeah, feels bad. Ryan's dead. It's you three up here. If any of you guys, if you or any of your teammates here end up dying, it's kind of a, that feels really bad. Like, I'm glad you back out. Like, you felt too much pressure and you started backing out. Thank God. I don't know, there's no good reason for you guys to be up there. You guys should, like, yeah. Immortality, just being a little too liberal with it, right there. That's another example I would say. Yeah, and he baited you out with it. As soon as he saw that you used your immortality, he ulted. Which, you used your shift right there for everyone else to keep them above half HP. So that was really good. Nice, keep bashing up, keep bashing up. Don't focus just on him. There's also a Kiriko right there. You know, she's not in too much danger. She actually wasn't like getting damaged out right there. But don't just look at one person who's critical and like just heal them. Like constantly, your screen should be like look like this, like looking around, right? Like soak in all that information. Like Overwatch is really complicated. Like it's a clusterfuck of a game, right? There's a lot of visual and audio clutter, but you have to like sift through it, and you can't go into like panic mode. That's what, like, you know, like some of the best players are like that. You know, they don't panic at all. They stay very thoughtful about all their actions. Like, you know, I'm in GM and I can't even say that for myself sometimes, right? I still panic here and there, right? Like that's like that honestly probably like really differentiates like really good like top 500 players from like GMs. It's just like they just obviously, you know, all the other stuff, but something I've noticed is that top 500 players, they just don't panic ever, really, for the most part when they play. Like they're cool as a cucumber, and we can't, like, obviously we can't be like them perfectly, but we can try to emulate that. So just be a little bit more, like, you know, just look around more, try to be more aware of what's going on during these fights and stuff. A little really aggressive with your position right here. You and your Kiriko, to be honest, right here, actually. I don't know, like, yeah. Now Ryan's, you know, making space, you know, creating pressure now, so a little bit less so, but, you know, high ground right here feels good. I don't think you would go up it. Feels bad. I wish you were on the high ground so bad right now. Huge kill on Mercy, though. Kinda letting your Reinhardt die, though. You know, you could have probably thrown out, like, your immortality at least. But we're really focused on killing that Moira. Yeah, and there's a lot of shit going on. Look how much shit's going on down here. Versus up here. I keep pointing it out because, and I'm sure it's like a little annoying, but like, that's just how important it is, right? So, okay, whoa. All right. The fight has been lost. Your whole team died, right? So you healing yourself staying alive like this longer when it's 100% sure you're gonna die here probably, you know, unless they majorly fuck this up. You healing yourself like that, you're only staggering yourself now. Your team's back in live. They're respawning. You should be respawning with them. Yep. So you end up staggered, and now your team, who is all up by the way now, everyone on your team is back, except for Bastion, who is also staggering himself, right? Which the enemy team hasn't noticed them yet. So your team has to now wait 9 seconds in order for you to respawn now, instead of like probably 4 or 3, right? If you had just died a little bit earlier. So, god damn it, I keep going back to the Reinhardt there by accident.
Don't worry, I'll be right behind you.
Another day, another battlefield.
30 seconds remaining.
Alright, we'll see what you pull off here. Everyone's critical on your team, but we're not panicking. We're okay. Very nitpicky. Don't do this, what you just did. Very scary. Especially if, like, let's say the enemy team had a Widow. Like, how easy of a shot would that be for her, just to shoot you out of the air? It's very nitpicky. I'm trying to be, just so, like, this is something you can think of for future reference. Don't jump like this unnecessarily. There's no reason to. Like, use that as a tool for repositioning instead of, like, your positioning, if that makes sense. It's the same with, like, Mercy Guardian Angel. Use that to reposition rather for it to be your position, right? Obviously, there are some certain exceptions to that, as there always is in this game. But for the most part, don't, like, jump out unnecessarily out into the open because like, that's, like, an easy, like, you know, arc that, like, people can shoot at. So, just wanted to throw that out there for you. We need to just get more comfortable with Baptiste's kit, like especially his immortality and his heals right now. Your hit scan, your DPS is fine, I think. Could always be better. Like, I'm gonna throw that. I say it's fine, like as in like I think it's probably on par for your rank as well as that you being on console. I'm trying to keep that in mind. Although I don't know how much of a difference that actually makes. Just because like I say, I play PC, so I'm just gonna say just be cautious. You know, could always polish up on your aim on your DPS as well. But like your arcing for your healing and as well as your immortality, I don't think you really know it. And I think like if you took a moment just to like really understand whether that means going into like practice ranges and like just really examining how it arcs, or like quick plays, just, you know, focusing just on those two things. You could even run comp and just want to focus on those two things. It doesn't matter where you practice it, right? But really focus in on that, because right now it feels like you have a pretty good understanding of how to aim with your damage, but not your heal and your immortality right now. It feels like slightly clunky, especially your immortality usage right now. I say that just because, like, for me, I would probably have bounced my immortality off this box right here, right? Or maybe you were just panicking, so you threw it, like, you know, just where you saw the critical was. That's part of it, right? Don't panic like that. We have to be thoughtful in our actions. Otherwise, you know, your teammate's gonna die like that. All right, I'm just gonna skip ahead. I think you guys lose right there. Yep, it happens. Not losable though. This is pretty winnable still. Still pretty winnable.
Fruition comes from within, as does failure.
Another thing I actually wanted to point out. Okay, so I was just thinking about it. So the window, when you had your window up and you could have saved Reinhardt like way further back, I think that's like tunnel visioning, right? When you're DPSing, you're throwing damage out, but you're not looking at your teammates that probably need the healing more than they need your damage right then and there, right? Whether that's the immortality field or just your healing. So I'm going to throw that out there really quick. You're looking for opportunities to do damage. I love that. Do not do so over stabilizing teammates, except for in some really rare cases where it could be worth it. But right now, it's just like almost like you just tunnel vision so hard on it. And then when you do have the opportunity to deal out damage, you need to prioritize your targets more. I think I've seen you shoot at the Sigma a lot, but not like their supports. You killed Mercy there pretty, like, that was pretty clean. That was pretty good. I wanted to see that like way more often, if that makes sense, right? So that's what I would probably think about for those things. We'll check out the Zenyatta.
This looks like a team that gets into trouble. Good thing I came along.
All right. Sorry, I was just typing notes right there, just making sure I had stuff. All right, cool.
Stop the payload.
Shall we journey together? Actuating the
Nice, take the high ground. I like it. Where did Junkrat die? Where is he? Somewhere. He is somewhere. Good Ben. Discord, perfect. Always be throwing your Discord or orb out on someone. That's the thing about Zenyatta, right? The animation to put orbs on people, it's pretty minimal, pretty negligible, right? You can throw your orb out on someone like constantly. Like, you should have your orbs out for the most part on someone no matter what, right? There's really not a reason for you not to have your orbs out on someone. So just make sure, you know, we're constantly looking for orb targets for our healing and our Discord. Just making sure that they're both out on someone, right? If you have a Tracer on your team, definitely put it on those. You know, if you have your Genji, if you have basically just mobile heroes that could really use, you know, sustainable, good healing from you at any distance, as long as they don't break line of sight, like, that's incredible, right? For someone like Tracer, Genji, like, especially for a Tracer. Like, I'm gonna use Tracer as like a good example. Like, that's fantastic on her, right? Especially for someone who wants to like flank their backline like that. Things go on like adventures. You know, that's just a really good. It like enables them to make really aggressive plays without having to worry too much about like going back for a health pack. You know, gives them a little bit more sustainability so that they can be out in fights longer. And things like that. So be constantly looking out for things like that, as well as being like, I'm gonna Discord like as many people as I possibly can, like, right? It should never, Discord orb is such a good ability, like, it should never not be being used at any certain given moment. Especially Discord orb on enemy tanks. Discord orb on enemy tanks is so strong right now, especially just because it's the switch to 1v1 for tanks has, like, it was such a buff for Zenyatta orb. By the way, they're like two people flanking you right now. I hear them. They're pretty scary. I hope you do. I don't think you actually do though, do you? Feels really bad. You got to be a little bit more aware about audio cues, right? I heard her big stomps. So, especially on Zenyatta, be hyper aware of any flankers or anyone that can dive you. You know, Zenyatta is really vulnerable, right? And listening for audio cues is super important for survivability, especially for like Tracer, you know, Reaper, basically just anyone that would flank, right? I think that was pretty easy to avoid right there. That was a pretty preventable death. You could have just dropped down underneath Car Wash, hung out with your team down there. But, I mean, you ended up like not hearing what was going on to your left, so you ended up dying right there. So that's something I would point out. Discord orb. Discord orb. Discord orb over damage. You dealing damage is not a priority over your Discord orb, unless it like for sure will secure a kill, like on the low HP target. But even then, I'm pretty sure you can throw Discord orb out while you're attacking. Actually, now that I think about it, I'm about like 90% sure. Got me fucked up. I gotta check this out now real quick.
Amid Discord,
all right, cool.
we will find
just really quick, I wanna just make sure that I'm not like telling you like wrong information.
This does not bode well for
Yeah,
you.
you can throw Discord orb out while attacking. So put on this guy. Let me just kill Reinhardt really quick so I can bring it back up. I see a Reinhardt, I'm gonna be like, okay, pew, pew, pew. Discord, see how, like, that makes, like, yeah. So, there's never not a reason to ever throw a Discord orb out. Even if you, like, you're attacking someone, right? Oh my god, I just queued comp right there, like, at a complete habit. I was so ready to just go next. Holy, that was scary.
Arriving at watch point, ready for battle.
Alright, cool. So, now that we know that, we can definitely, for sure, you know, think about that. Make sure that we're throwing Discord out as much as we possibly can, right? So, alright, cool. Let's do this. Nice, good Discord orb. Scary, walking out into cover. You see your tank get low HP like this, right? Well, we'll slow this down, just like by a tad bit. All right. You see your tank getting pressured out. She's actually walking backwards because of how much spam is going on in right here. And you just kind of waltz right into that. That sucks. Yeah. That's like, you got to be a little bit more aware of like where people are spamming and choke points like this. You can't just walk out of cover like this. You're going to get blown up like you just did. So keep that in mind next time. Especially if you see your tank getting pressured out. That should be a pretty good cue that you shouldn't walk in there. Alright, cool. Alright. I'm going to be super honest. By the time you made this swap, enemy team had a lot of momentum. I was thinking to myself initially when I was first watching this that there kind of wasn't any way for them to fuck this up somehow. Just because of ult economy and just because how much like momentum they just had. So I guess like one thing I could say is you probably didn't need to fade in like this. Like right here. That felt like a little bit of a waste. Your teammates were completely fine. They didn't need you for healing like right then and there. And then like by the time like you got it up, it was too late to get you out of the enemy Dark Queen ult. So she's gonna rampage here. Or Reckoning, I don't know what it's called. You could, you know, fade out and cleanse yourself, get yourself to a safer spot. Just things like that. That's probably like one thing I could say. Yeah. Look how much momentum they have though. Yeah, and then we overstay our welcome now. You are the only person last alive right now. You should not be fighting here. Right? You should just be backing up. As soon as Bastion, not even as soon as Bastion dies, Bastion was dead. He was a dead man. You should have just left. But we've kind of overstayed our welcome now. And then, so now we're in the danger. Now we're in the danger zone. If we die now, we've staggered ourselves. And so now our team has to fight 4v5 if you die. I don't think you do. Do you? No, good. We don't. Okay. But there's a little bit of danger. Jungle Queen wanted you real bad, actually. So, oh, you guys don't even end up touching for the last fight. That sucks. So, I don't have too much to say about the Moira. Maybe don't use your fade in unnecessarily. That's about the only thing I really got from that. Like I said, enemy team just had so much momentum. I kind of can't really give any good feedback, just because that felt like just a little bit like too much of a stomp. I literally can't say anything about it. But I'll send you my notes. I hope this helped. I hope the positioning stuff really helped. Right now, overall, I think you just need to use cover more effectively, which you're actually using it like pretty well. Walls, you're playing like decently pretty close to walls, but I think you could hug them even more. And then 2, utilize that high ground. Use it way more often, especially on a map like Gibraltar.